We have John Solomon from Just the News joining us. And this is a new piece that you put out last night, John, about Comey's media mole told the FBI he shaped the Russia narrative, but needed discount to deny leaking intel. All this stems from an investigation by the FBI into classified information that was popping up in the New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, and many other places. But what do these documents tell us, John, about James Comey and this relationship he had with Columbia University law professor Daniel Richman?
What it tells you is that at taxpayer expense, James Comey brought a friend onto the payroll to be a special PR consultant and to go around the official press office of the FBI, which is also on our tax dollars dime, and trained in how to properly provide information to the news media so that laws aren't broken. And he's having discussions with reporters about classified information. And when he's asked, did you confirm or provide that information, he gives, I think, one of the great non-denial answers in American history. It's probably going to be up there with Bill Clinton's, depending what the meaning of the word is when he was trying to parse words about whether he had an interview or had an affair or sexual relationship with his intern, Monica Lewinsky. That was probably the most famous one in the last 30 years. He says, well, I'm pretty sure I didn't confirm the intelligence, and I'm sure, with a discount, I didn't give him the classified documents. If you need a discount on your truthfulness to make that claim, it's a red flag to the FBI that maybe you haven't told them the whole story. And I think what you get to see now is that James Comey wasn't just trying to do good in the country. He wasn't trying to stand up to a president, all the narratives he's given us on his high and mighty media tours. He was worried about how he was being viewed, his reputation. And he brings a guy in, and that guy is having conversations with reporters about classified information. He doesn't dispute that. The question is, did he leak it? And the FBI ultimately couldn't tell from his answer whether he did or didn't. And the Justice Department ultimately, like almost all the leak cases of the last decade, we looked at 6 of them yesterday, no one actually gets punished. They always come to the same conclusion, which is, it looks like this happened, but we can't prove it.
And meanwhile, the president of the United States, who would have actually had the ability or authority to declassify things, gets a special counsel and charged for retaining classified documents, while all of these, their conclusion is, we don't know if we can prosecute anyone. There does seem to be this double standard. And I think that's what people have been concerned about, at least that watch our broadcast, is that there is that double standard. But now we're going on 8 years in some of these cases. Where can justice be had? And John, is there anything that you see that could still happen to hold these individuals accountable?
Well, they say there is, and Pam Bondi has put in motion a process. First, there's a criminal case that's been written up by career officials under the direction of FBI Director Kash Patel that looks at the decade of weaponization as a grand conspiracy case. Same modus operandi. Democrat does something bad, Hillary Clinton with the foundation, Hillary Clinton with the emails. They project a fake scandal on Donald Trump called Russia collusion. Hunter Biden's got a Ukraine foreign influence problem and a tax problem. We're going to have an impeachment of Donald Trump for asking about it. Joe Biden has classified documents in his garage and in his UPenn office that he shouldn't have. Let's raid Donald Trump and make a criminal case of him first, and then we'll let Joe Biden walk. That is being looked at as an ongoing conspiracy case, deprivation of civil liberties, perhaps obstruction of justice. In that scenario, you can go backwards to 2016 and charge people. Now, there's another scenario. In the cases of leaking, there is one statute. Most of the statutes on leaks are 5 years for classified information. But there's one statute that states that it's a 10-year if you can show that something was willing and knowing and willful. And I think in some of these leaks, you see people directing, if the account about Adam Schiff that I broke 2 days ago is true, Adam Schiff is directing his staff to do it. That seems to be knowing and willful. In fact, when the question of legality comes up, the whistleblower says they've already figured out, don't worry about it. The Justice Department will just say we'll be protected by the debate and speech clause, so we won't be prosecuted for leaking classified information. Sounds knowing and willful. We'll have to see if a grand jury believes that, whether prosecutors believe it, whether the whistleblowers are credible. But there are some avenues for justice. I think the biggest avenue for all of us is, at some point, These agencies have to be turned upside down. And the mindset that it's okay to bring your politics across the threshold of the door, something that didn't happen in the CIA and the FBI up until the last maybe 10 or 12 years, and the Justice Department, that has to be stamped out. If not, we go from a great constitutional republic to a banana republic.
Well, and I think what is so shocking about things in your reporting, both with the Adam Schiff story as well as this James Comey story, is that these two both had what seemed to be like an established way for them to get this information out. Instead of this was a one-off, or they decided to get one thing out to an individual, but whether it be the House Intelligence Committee having staff do that for you, or with James Comey bringing on an individual as a special government employee so you could have these conversations with him to almost legally protect him, but then allow that individual to be your pipeline to the media. It's just shocking that that's what was going on. But I just want to encourage everyone also to follow John over at Just the News. Read this reporting. It's incredible. We read it here every day. And John, is there anything else you want our people to know about things that may be coming or what we should be looking out for?
Yeah, listen, I think the next thing I'm going to be focusing on are some documents that show that Hillary Clinton did not only face jeopardy on her email case, there was several foundation corruption cases looking at her foundation as a possible pay to play. We're going to be able to tell people for the first time soon who was shutting that down, who was blocking it. And I think that's going to be an important part of that cycle of protecting Democrats, Hunter, Hillary, whoever it's going to be, Joe Biden, and then demonizing Republicans using the intelligence and law enforcement system. I think those new revelations will move the needle quite a bit.
JustTheNews.com is where you can go read all of that and be looking out for what John Solomon just told us. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk with you soon.
Thank you, sir. Good to be with you.
Jordan.
There you go. Do you see how much information there is still to be explained, still that needs to be, testimony that needs to be gathered, people that need to be put under oath, and possible legal charges that need to come. And again, this is not just fighting a grudge. It's the bigger picture of a government that works for the people, regardless of your political views, that is going to treat everyone the same. If it's illegal for one person, it's illegal for the other person. And we're not going to raid some people's houses, but not other people's houses, because we feel like, you know what, there shouldn't have been any of raids of President Trump and those associates. But some of these guys on the other side, when you look at the information, you wonder why there wasn't action taken quicker. Instead, they were getting little slaps on the wrist. You need to be more careful with your documents. We're finding spies in your office from other countries. Just be a little more careful with how you share this information. You're telling your staff to leak classified information, as one whistleblower reported to the FBI, and no actions taken on that by the FBI. But they put warning outs about Catholic churches. I mean, just remember, that's all going on simultaneously. It's why we have to fight back. When you have a bureaucracy this size, you have to keep them accountable, you have to keep them honest, and you have to be willing to fight. That's what we want you to do by joining with us so that we can fight those fights for you and on behalf of you at the American Center for Law and Justice. Go to aclj.org right now.